Hello zusammen, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all having a good day so far. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Diana and I make videos all about my life as an expat living in Germany. And for today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 things that you should not say to Germans. Just as a warning, just in case any of you are planning to move here or have just gotten here and you don't know maybe what are some taboo topics that you shouldn't bring up, I wanted to make this video for you. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the first things that you definitely don't want to talk about are finances. Germans are generally very private people and they're not very open about their finances. It's very taboo to ask somebody how much money they make, and even topics such as, sharing the bonus that you got at the end of the year or a pay raise is quite taboo, so you definitely want to go ahead and avoid that. Now, when it comes to topics such as how much rent you're paying, this is sort of a gray line because they're much more open towards sharing how much they pay for rent, because it's very common to want to compare here to see who's paying more rent, to see if you're paying a fair price for a certain area. So topics surrounding rent and how much rent you pay, that's generally okay, but straight up asking somebody how much they earn or how much their bonus was or what their pay raise is quite a no subject. You want to stay away from that. Also, in order to avoid any sort of awkwardness, you probably also don't want to share how much you pay for health insurance, because the amount that you pay for health insurance can help determine how much you actually earn, and it's very easy to calculate. So if you want to go ahead and avoid any awkwardness, then stay away from topics like that as well. I also want to make a video all about German health insurance. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, since I know a lot of you are planning to move here. So let me know in the comments below or give this video a thumbs up and I would be happy to chat a bit more about that. Now, the second thing that you also want to avoid is insulting their beer and their bread. I'm going to group these two things together because these are very German things and things that Germans are very proud about. I'm not a beer drinker, so I don't know much about good quality beer, but based on what I've heard, North America has super shitty beer and Germany has the best beer possible. But if you want to get into like the very technical side of things and talk about different parts of Europe that have better beer, just go ahead and avoid that, because you're going to get in very heated discussions about comparisons between, Czech beer, German beer, Belgian beer. It can get very technical and it can get very heated. So yeah, you want to avoid that. And then the second thing you're of course going to want to avoid is insulting German bread. Now, when you first move here, you're probably not going to be a fan of German bread because it's very different to North American bread. It's more dense, it's more dark, it's more seedy, but over time you'll start to adapt to it. So don't go ahead and insult it right away, because Germans are very proud of their bread and they will fight with you. They will try to convince you that it's amazing. And if you just want to avoid pointless conversations at the end of the day, stay away from this topic. It ain't gonna do you any good. The third thing that you're gonna want to avoid talking about, bringing up, is about World War II, the Nazi era, Hitler. It's just a very uncomfortable topic for Germans. They don't like to be associated with this era, this dark part of their history. So just in order to avoid any uncomfortable situations, stay away from this topic. Don't bring it up. Don't make any remarks or jokes about it. It's just very frowned upon. So just don't do it at all. I can imagine this being quite similar to when I mention that my parents are Colombian and I'm Colombian, and as soon as I say that, people bring up Pablo Escobar and cocaine and all of this stuff. I get really annoyed by that. I don't like to be associated with that part of our history. So I can imagine that for the younger generations, they don't like to talk about their dark history as well, and they don't like to be reminded about it and be associated with it whatsoever. So I can kind of relate there. So I just know to never bring this up and just never talk about it because it's not a very pleasant topic whatsoever. Now, the fourth thing, on a lighter note, if you are going to the grocery store, for instance, and you go to the cash register, just don't talk to the cashier and try to make up a conversation with them and do small talk, ask them how their day is, how they're doing. Just don't do it. Here, people like to just do their work and move on, especially at a grocery store. They don't like to make small talk. It's just not part of their culture, really. And they know that most likely your question is not very genuine. You don't actually care how they are doing, how their day is going. You are just trying to fill any awkward silence. So just don't do it because it just makes them annoyed and it slows down the whole process in their opinion. You know, if you spend time talking to them and asking questions, you're gonna make the line even longer for them. Now, the last thing that I wanna mention, number 5, is if you are living in Berlin, you don't want to assume that every German that you meet is from Berlin. You don't wanna ask them, oh, what part of Berlin are you from? Because 99% of the time, they are not actually from Berlin, and they see this as quite offensive. A lot of Germans are not a big fan of Berlin because Berlin is like the rebel child of the whole country. They don't follow the same rules. They don't have a similar lifestyle to the rest of Germany, and they just do things very differently. So if you immediately assume that somebody is from Berlin, they will get offended and they will immediately say, oh, no, 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 I am from Munich, from Cologne, from this smaller town. They will say it right away and try to create that distinction that yes, they may live in Berlin, but they definitely did not grow up here and they are not from the city whatsoever. So rather, if you want to get to know somebody, rather than you just assuming that they're from Berlin, go ahead and ask, what part of Germany are you from? And that will open up the conversation a lot more and will get them to open up a lot more as well, rather than them being just defensive right away if you ask if they are from Berlin and what area of Berlin they are actually from. So yeah, that's pretty much all for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video on the 5 things that you should not say to Germans or bring up to Germans. I hope that you found it helpful. And if you are looking for more resources and help on moving to Germany, finding a job here, make sure to check out my website. I will leave it linked down below for you guys. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe. I do post new videos every single week. So that will be all. I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I will talk to you all in my next one. Tschüss!